Crash, DJ Lano, and myself, Gary Icon John in the building. Crash, leave me alone. Leave me alone.
It's crashed, bro. It's just crashed.
DJ Crash. DJ Crash. Crash, you know DJ?
Yeah, it's been a while. Can't go outside. COVID and things and things.
One small thing.
Yeah.
DJ
Hopefully
Crash.
the place open back up soon.
DJ Crash.
But yeah, what I want to talk about this morning is the domestic violence that we have going on.
DJ Crash.
Yeah, whatever you want to say. If that makes you comfortable, go ahead with it.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, I feel like it's too often now that videos circulate with our ladies in domestic problems, pornography, quite a lot of range of stuff.
You're talking about revenge porn,
Yes.
where people are releasing homemade videos of having sexual encounters despite other individuals or the individuals in the video.
Yes. And I feel like, have we lost the respect for our ladies along the way, our women?
How about have we lost the respect for
Overall.
ourselves?
Well, that as well.
Overall.
But I want to highlight the ladies in this case because usually the men don't get lashed for it. It's usually people just look at the lady and be like, boy, she's a... They call her all kind of names. I don't want to go and mention some of the names online, but all kind of mean names.
Derogatory names.
Yeah. And I feel like we could do better on this. Like,
No.
for instance, the video that was circulating yesterday with the young lady who was popular. She got popular based on a photo that was taken of her in school
Yeah.
by a popular photographer.
Okay.
And then it circulated. It became big on social media. A lot of persons, she's dark. She's a beautiful young lady.
Yeah.
So it got a lot of traction. And then you see a lot of stuff went downhill from there with her. Some people would say, oh, the hype got to her head. And then, she was in some altercations with persons, a lot of back and forth, cuss stuff on social media.
No, well, I'll tell you this,
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with the entirety of the backstory concerning that particular individual.
Yeah.
But I've had my fair share of experiences with domestic violence and domestic abuse and domestic altercations. And every case is unique and different in its own right.
True.
We cannot judge it from the standpoint that, it's the same thing over and over. Because it isn't.
I know.
But I can say this. There's a lot that can be done in terms of educating persons and individuals when it comes to conflict resolution. And sometimes, boy, I gotta tell you, in my personal experience, boy, sometimes you go and try to talk to some people, hold a civil conversation, and they get hype. You know what I mean? And in the instance, there might be a back and forth and thing. But you still have to maintain some form of composure and still have to remember that, there are different ways and means of handling situations. And I don't believe in the hitting thing. If you're defending yourself, I understand. You understand?
Yeah. I also don't believe in it, though.
You understand?
I feel like, don't hit me.
You understand? Because I gotta tell you the honest truth. In our society, right? We have a society where back in the days, you would have heard people say, man, I just hit that 2 slap and done with that. Back in the days, it was commonplace for these things to happen and just, it was played off as, it ain't nothing. That just 2 lash and done with that. But as I said yesterday, the world has become a lot more sensitive to a lot of things. Things that would have been accepted in the past and looked at as nothing back then are creating major waves and issues now. And if we are to grow as a nation, if the rest of the world is going in that direction, some way, somehow we will be forced to catch up. Whether or not it's a tradition or it's culturally ingrained, there's some things we would have to evolve and leave behind. You know what I mean? If we want to actually be able to live comfortably with the rest of the world and interact with the rest of the world on the same level. Because certain things are just not accepted anymore. And I will tell you the truth. In some of these instances, certain things could have been prevented. But in some instances, boy, I think people don't think things through. You know what I mean? In terms of prevention, I don't believe in acting homemade films. Because there's no guarantee it's going to stay secret. There's no guarantee it's not going to end up on the net. There's no guarantee it's not going to come into the public sphere. It could happen in a variety of different ways. You lose your phone, somebody find it and say, what? Action here, boy. They feel malicious. They release it. You might send your phone to fix. You send it to a technician who is not professional. And they figure, boy, this is a good way to gain some popularity and friends, boy. Let me show you this, boy. And show them man where just go on otherwise. But they start sharing things. You understand? And it could get out there in a numerous ways. So my thing is, don't do it.
You mentioned something there, conflict resolution.
Conflict resolution.
Yeah. It kind of stems even back down to like kindergarten.
Yeah.
Like when you're in preschool.
Tit for tat.
Preschool, yeah. When if a young man go and hit a girl, the teacher will come and beat him in front of the person. Like, don't hit her.
Yeah.
So it conditions your mind there from a young age that hitting someone is a resolution, because the child can look at it and like, hey, oh, so you're supposed to hit back.
Forget justice.
No, I'm just bringing it from that standpoint.
I see what you're saying.
So you look at it like, yeah, hitting is probably the best way to resolve it, which is not necessarily the case on most occasions. Because I know my mother used to cut my tail for do certain thing and I still do it.
Well,
no,
you're a bit of a special case, you know, Cash. You ain't the regular, you know what I mean?
No. Like, I think it's all about how we address certain things. And it just flusters our mind as we grow. And as you mentioned, there's certain things that we need to grow out of.
Well, true. And I think society gasses a lot of things too. Because if you look at some of the situations that take place, I personally have seen a lot of conflicts in my time. And the individuals who are in the conflicts themselves would not necessarily react a certain way until a crowd intervenes and say, boy, you taking that? Or girl, you gonna make he do you that? Or tell you that? Boy, if it's me, I don't tear off. They say, I don't do this, I don't do that. And a lot of people are not mature enough to turn that off. You understand? In given situations. Turn it off and just say, boy, you know what? It ain't worth it. Or this is shoppiness, eh? You know what I mean?
How do you condition someone's mind from that, though? We usually say we get seminars and those stuff to talk to persons who are in these cases. But then sometimes you intervene in these situations and you call the police, and then the person end back up in the same situation because probably the person who was abusing them has a financial advancement over them. Advantage over them.
But then too, Crash, sometimes there are mental issues involved there, like Munchausen syndrome. I know of individuals who were raped and abused and ended up being lovers with the persons who raped and abused them. You understand? And starting relationships and even a family. You understand?
Yeah.
After being raped and abused. And we might say it's crazy, and in a sense it is crazy. But there's a lot to be said and done when it comes to mental health in these situations too. And those things need to be addressed also in order for us to really find the root of the problems so that we could understand them and find the correct solutions to each of these problems. Because it's not just one, as I said, one reason why these things happen or one root cause. There are many different facets in this thing.
I think we should start from the schools though. You could do some assessments. We should have therapists in schools, make an assessment of certain students.
I think even on the workplace, brother.
That as well.
Because some jobs are very stressful, and sometimes people don't know how to detox, or they don't get a chance to detox before they reach home. And then going home to a household that is also embroiled in conflict, and it becomes frustrating, along with the times and the responsibilities that are thrust upon individuals in adulthood. It could make for a very pressure cooker-like type of existence where you're feeling constant pressure and you don't have an outlet. You know what I mean? Mental health is a serious thing that we take for granted in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but we need to look into it, bro.
Yeah,
There's only so much
finding a way
people
to
could take.
release. You know, some people do yoga,
There are many different
meditate.
ways, but that's boy, we have work to do. But people, let us know your thoughts, your opinions, and perspectives on this one. We got a mix coming up next, the DGCL State of Emergency mix. But before we get into that, I want to remind you of a couple of things, man. The Greatest Showcase show is on the go. It's coming up on April 9th, and it's gonna be a vibe, man. Young Brother is ready, Melik is ready, Datsy, Miradan, Grabba, Casper G, Slammer London, and more are ready for the I Love Soca Fete at the Honors World Sporting